Yeah.
What do I feel?
Yeah. Well. Lieutenant. Yeah.
What is good, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the NoLidPodcast. We glad that you guys are having us, and we're glad to have y'all. And today, man, we got some, pretty interesting topics on some recent developments that has been going on in Hollywood for a change. Primarily, as you guys can guess, probably by the title of this episode, we will be touching on the whole situation with Will Smith slapping a fellow brother known as Chris Rock at the Oscars, which was on live television, which was a global phenomenon, which was predicted, obviously, by Chris Rock the moment it happened. Quote, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me on live television. This is probably the greatest thing ever. But anyways, we wanted to touch on the fact that in recent news, we have heard that Will Smith was actually banned from the Oscars for the next 10 years, I believe.
Yeah.
So, that's the newest thing that's happened with that. And I just kind of wanted to ask you guys, what is you guys' take on that? Do you guys think that's something that should have happened, or what are you guys' thoughts?
Him slapping that nigga was very, very wrong. I just feel like even a person that gets so angry, somebody of his caliber and standard shouldn't be doing something like that. Yeah. I understand how it can take over you, anger and all that other shit, but it's a time and a place when you do things. Mm-hmm. And that was obviously the completely wrong thing to do.
Right.
And I just feel like it was uncalled for.
Nah,
it was just a G.I. Jane joke. It wasn't that funny anyway.
Yeah, it was. That's my thing too. Is it wasn't even that funny of a joke for one. I didn't even really get it until I saw the poster. It was okay, something about her. I didn't even laugh at it, but like you said, it's just not the time and place. Because I would have much rather have read that. Okay, Will Smith tried to fight Chris Rock backstage type shit. It is okay. You all right, I'm gonna let this nigga get his little shit off or whatever, and then I'm at backstage, nigga, you finna see me. Right. But to go up there just in the middle of just such a big moment, because now it's he won Best Actor that night, which is an award that he's been trying to get, shown for a while, and it's an award that he rightfully deserved. But instead of niggas talking about you winning that award, you're talking about how much you slapped the nigga. So not only did you kind of fucked yourself up in that way. Nobody's talking about this major achievement that only I think it's four black men or black people have four black men I think have received the Best Actor award in the Oscar. I may be wrong with that, but that's still a major thing, and you kind of soiled that moment for yourself.
Feel that nigga had a Men in Black moment. That nigga just thought he had to fight some aliens, clicked into that, and then just smacked that
nigga.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
My take on it is about him being banned. That is probably warranted, just to be completely honest. And about the whole situation about my man Chris Rock getting slapped. I feel like when you take a step back, I feel like you can kind of see why Will did it, but it also doesn't really justify it. In my eyes, at least, and as far as what I've heard, Jada, struggling with alopecia had been a thing for a minute. It's probably something that she expressed to her family and her husband and whatnot. And so Will, during the award show, as we could see, he was laughing at the time that the joke was said. I feel like it was more so of a thing where he noticed that this was something he really did make an insensitive joke. So now I kind of have to act, and hence the slap. That was wrong in every aspect of it. And it actually kind of begs the question, which I also want to ask, do y'all think that Jada incited that slap? Because that's something that everybody has been saying or alluding around. She was the reason that he went and did that. Yeah. Do y'all think that was really incited by her, or was it just Will himself?
She didn't tell that nigga to get up and
slap that nigga. Yeah,
she did not tell. But I mean, I could see how the way she reacted to it. I could see how Will would look at that and be damn,
I need to do something.
He was laughing at that.
Yeah,
shit.
Exactly.
And then he realized and then he was like, fuck, now I have to do something. I gotta either redeem myself or it's no pussy for me tonight. And he was with his whole family that night. If he wouldn't have done something, I feel like his whole thought process, if he wouldn't have done something at that point, his night would have been fucked regardless. With him winning Best Actor, his wife is not happy. Happy wife, happy life. That is true. And his night would have been fucked up. But even then, she didn't make that nigga do that. I feel like, honestly, that moment was a buildup of just a whole bunch of bullshit that nigga's been dealing with. Because he knows that when it comes to Jada, it's always some disrespect his way. Like, niggas are talking about, like, Will is a punk. Like, she don't give a fuck about that nigga. Like, all that shit. Obviously, a nigga's gonna get tired of that shit. He's on social media like everybody else. He sees that shit. Yeah. Like, he's gonna get tired of that shit. So I can understand why in that moment he like, bruh, don't talk about my wife. I'm tired of niggas talking about my wife. Yeah. But even then, like, gotta think about who your wife is and then who you are, all that other shit. It's a lot more to it.
Nah, that it's, I think for niggas to be reaching and trying to say that that's Jada's fault is pretty far-fetched. I think, to be honest, I think majority of the takes on this shit is just really far-fetched. When really, if we look at the surface level, which really is all it is, it's just a nigga that slapped another nigga, bro. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with Jada made Will do. No, it's all really just between what Will felt in that moment. And I agree with you. It's probably the nigga was probably just like, bro, why do niggas keep joking on me? And it was probably just a moment where all that shit just came to a front where he was like, you know, like you said, he laughed at that shit at first. He probably saw Jada looking over. He's probably like, damn. Maybe some subconscious shit was probably like, damn, I'm finna hear about this shit. I can't go like this, and just went up and slapped him. Like, and that could have went a number of ways. Like, he was lucky to pick Chris Rock being the smaller dude that he was, but like, if that was anybody else, that could have went a lot worse. If there was somebody else, bro, nigga could have got his ass beat in front of his wife. You would have looked even worse. So then you really can't blame that shit on her.
I just like, and that's another thing too. Imagine putting other comedians in that position. Kevin Hart is not. He's not getting smacked by Will Smith.
No, Kevin Hart's gonna fight you.
It's not even about like Will Smith would not walk up to Kevin Hart and slap him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that. But I feel like because it's Chris Rock too. That's. I mean, I'm not gonna say Chris Rock a hoe, but Chris Rock,
he just knew who to pick on.
Chris Rock he's one of them niggas that like. He can pinch a nerve because that nigga don't really understand. And that's another thing that I found out along the way too. Yeah. Chris Rock, when he says shit, he doesn't understand how it makes other people feel. Yeah. And it's like, I can't remember what it's called, but basically like when he makes a joke and it's very highly insensitive, he won't know that it's offending somebody until they actually say
it to him,
I'm offended. Right. So it's like, and that's why he reacted the way he did, all that shit. Imagine having to go the rest of the night knowing you got smacked.
That man did well, bro, if you ask me.
He did well.
He really kept his composure through that, man. Like, the fact of even, like, obviously he was a little shaken up after it, you know, in his speech and whatnot. But the fact that he even, like, kept going is just, like, applause to that man, to be honest.
Yeah, kept it professional. Like, I mean, he better than me. Like, we not fighting, bro. I'm letting jokes. Now I'm really letting jokes fly. Right. I'm letting everything fly, nigga. I'm really trying to hurt feelings, nigga.
And that's another thing too. Like, Twitter had a fucking, like, you know how Twitter is when shit like this happens, bro. Niggas are saying, fucking Chris Rock, he's showing misogyny. Is the problem. He's talking about Jada as if, like, you know how niggas,
niggas are just thinking too deep about it.
And I feel like that's another thing that is really fucked up about the situation. Comedy today is not what it used to be or what it's supposed to be. Comedy is supposed to be offensive and very, like, it's supposed to target everybody. And so it's like when somebody makes a joke, you're not supposed to get offended because it's a joke.
Yeah, it's kind of like satire.
It's
you take a situation.
I'm not gonna say you're not supposed to get offended. It's okay to be offended, but understand at the end of the day, like, this is a joke.
Here's the thing, though. I do feel like there were two wrongs in the situation. I'm not gonna take away from it. I don't really think Chris Rock should have made that joke. I think it was
insensitive. Regardless,
it was in bad taste. Like,
it was.
But like I said, he as a comedian, he wouldn't realize that, like, these niggas make jokes like this all the time. Like, if you watch any stand-up, these niggas make jokes about shit that, I mean, in society, niggas are not gonna joke about because it's not a joke. But that's why niggas joke about it.
Right.
Try to shed light on the situation. But like I said, it was just a lack of information. He didn't really. I don't even know if that nigga knew that she had alopecia.
mean,
I would be surprised if he didn't.
I honestly don't think he did either, but
I would be surprised
regardless,
if he did,
I just
because
feel
that
like
was common knowledge.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like as a man, his common sense should have kicked in.
Yeah.
You see a woman that went bald, you should know better. I just feel like it's an unspoken rule. You know, normally, and not to speak to women, but typically, at least from what I've seen, when a woman cuts off her hair, it's either that she is like dealing.
It's kind
with
of a major thing.
It's a major thing. You know, it could be like some type of transformative process for them or whatever. So like to make a joke out of it that's what I mean by it was in bad taste regardless, however you look at it. But now that man getting slapped, that was just OD. Like that was beyond OD. So I don't know. But so y'all would say ultimately that like that was just a subject of Will's own like masculinity and just like feeling the need to like this is my wife,
to stand up
to,
type
like,
thing.
Yeah,
like just feeling
in that moment, and he felt like he had to do something.
That's really all it was. Like if anything, and that's I think as deep as it needs to go. Like it really, like all these people writing different think pieces about it. It's really all just Will.
And then it's like the fact that from this one situation, everybody, like, even though these niggas have had several situations in the past, niggas are talking about their relationship, and it's like that's one thing that I don't tend to talk about as much, because it's like, how can I say something about somebody's relationship I know little to nothing about?
Yeah. You're not even in it.
Like, for instance, niggas with this situation, niggas are talking about he did that shit for Jada. Jada don't give a fuck about him. Jada, like, why didn't he do that shit to August Alsina? Niggas don't understand that was like, these niggas chose to do that. That was a choice.
Yeah, they weren't together.
Do you think Will wasn't fucking other women? Come on. Like, niggas, like, he was. There's no way he wasn't. So it's like, but just because she came out open with it.
And August said something. That's really what August
said. And that's the problem with all of this shit. The fact that celebrities don't really have a lot of privacy as regular people do anyway. And then just how open and vocal she is with their relationship, I feel like that is a problem, because some things it's like it shouldn't be said.
I feel like that's also what lead people to the conclusion though of saying like Jada is like toxic to Will, or at least from what I've heard, they always touch on the topic that like she actually went out, to have this show and then like basically just expose all their business for the world to see and basically like degrade Will and kind of like justify her actions or whatnot.
I'm one of them niggas that try to justify shit though, and I feel like I don't think she would intentionally try to make that nigga look bad. Yeah. Like, she's just trying to shed light. Like, when she talks about how she didn't want to get married with him at first, that's her being true and like telling the truth and showing a transformative process, I guess you could say, because that's not what it is now. Obviously, niggas are gonna take that as like she don't like that, like she doesn't love him. Yeah. She wish she was with Pac, all that other shit. With the whole Willow note coming out, that was a little kid. Niggas, right. Kodak said some shit about that shit recently too, and he was like, Willow was wrong for even writing to that nigga. I don't know if you seen that, but she was basically like, she wrote a letter to Tupac. Tupac died in 96.
Yeah.
So it was like, she wrote a letter to Tupac basically saying like, I want to meet you and shit. I know you're still alive somewhere, so on and so forth. But niggas are saying like crazy. She's wrong for that shit.
How did that even get exposed? Like,
I mean, I don't know, honestly.
A lot of niggas believe that.
Even then, like, I feel like niggas are overanalyzing that shit too, because it's like she wrote that when she was a little kid. Mm-hmm. She don't know what the fuck is going on at that point. I hope she doesn't know what's going on with their relationship. She don't know nothing about Tupac and all that other shit. Tupac and her mom and shit. So it's like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, man, it's that cold bar will just forever live in infamy now. That Jada and that Will Love has so many different meanings now.
Jada and that Will Love, quotation.
So many different meanings now.
Regardless, though, I just feel like niggas need to let them niggas live, bro. It's they marriage. They can do whatever the fuck they want to, and that's where a lot of shit come from anyway. Yeah. People believe things are supposed to be done one way. Or the way that they feel is right, and that's not the truth for everybody.
Yeah, it's all subjective.
I mean, obviously that they're still together and taking care of their kids together and whatnot, at least from what we see. So obviously they have some type of healthy relationship realistic. If they're able to,
Honestly, I feel like their relationship is realistic all the way through, like through and through. because even then it's like, just looking at their marriage, love. I hear this shit all the time. When you love somebody, you don't love them all the. I'm not gonna say love them. You don't like them all the time.
Yeah.
So like, you don't want to be around that person every day, all day, 365. Obviously not, because I mean, shit. You need time to yourself sometimes, and all that other shit. They're just being realistic about this shit.
Right.
Sometimes I have a hard time loving him, but at the end, I do love him regardless of any of that.
Right. Okay. I understand that. I guess to piggyback off of this, in other news regarding men and women, we have seen this Instagram
Post,
video?
from
Okay,
Justin
Instagram post
LeBoy.
by some social media personality.
Bitch-ass nigga.
by
Ain't
the
nothing
name of
new.
Justin LeBoy, a 32-year-old man, who decided to go ahead and tweet recently that a real man wouldn't let his woman pay for anything. And it kind of just got us thinking, and I just feel like we should have some type of dialogue on that. What do you guys think about that? A real man would not let his woman pay for anything.
Okay.
I guess we should start from defining what is a real man.
A real man. Look,
Because this was
Yeah.
very
You go ahead.
ambiguous.
Go ahead.
What do you think about it?
Well, in today's, society and just like the different social norms and whatever, things have changed. Whereas you look towards the past, the man is the one that's supposed to bring home all the money and, be protecting all this stuff and whoop de whoop. I think there's definitely just been a lot of changes. My personal definition of what a real man is, just the values that I hold true to, is just, again, a person that, or a man that does anything necessary to take care of the people that he loves and cares about. That's giving up his last dollar. That's, I'm not going to eat tonight because I want my family tonight. Just making sure all the people that you love are taken care of and that you're handling all your responsibilities and that you're not running from shit. You that's how you should present yourself. And I think that's something that's pretty much just a general base root, and you can really just add on to there from that point. But that's all I consider. So that means you could still be a real man even if your wife makes more money than you. You could still be considered a real man in that way. Hell, you might, if some niggas, not me personally, but some niggas, are house husbands, and you could still be a real man in that way too. It really is just all subjective. Again, as long as I feel like you're handling what your duties are supposed to be, what your responsibilities are supposed to be, and you carry yourself in that way, to me, that's what makes a real man. But it's all subjective, depending on how you grew up and what you saw. Like, I get mine through seeing my dad type shit, and I'm pretty sure y'all may have some different definitions of that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, related, but not exactly the same. I guess I do kind of see it in a similar light. A real man, to me at least, is somebody that does do everything in his power to take care of those that he cares about. And I feel like it's just that simple, to be honest. We're all blessed and put in positions to do only so much for other people in the first place, that it's kind of wrong to try and measure it with, I would say, monetary or some type of materialistic value. I feel like as long as a man is doing what he can do and should be doing in order to support those people around him, then I don't see how that wouldn't qualify him as real.
I mean, yeah, to simplify what the fuck y'all said, and this is just how I see it, bro. A real man is a crazy ass statement, and I'm gonna get into it because starting a sentence off with a real man or a real woman is already the wrong way to start any sentence. Right. A real man and a real woman are just people. And this is just how I see shit. A real man, because you heard everything they just said. I believe the same thing, but a woman does the same exact shit. Right. So that's one thing I hate so much, to see men and women fight over stupid shit like this. Is crazy. What a real man should do. Like, that is such a crazy ass argument. Yeah. I can understand, like, you believe, and this is like, if you believe you as a man should do a certain thing a certain type of way, okay, that's okay. Like, live your life. A real man is gonna be true to himself at the end of the day. Yeah. A real man is comfortable with himself and not allowing the world to influence who the fuck he is.
Right.
A real man is gonna be himself. A real woman is gonna be herself. She's gonna take care of her shit just like a man would. And so it's like, now we can talk about like what a toxic man is. Really a subjective thing, honestly. Yeah. Like they said, it's very subjective, and it just depends on who you're talking to, because everybody believes something different.
Agreed.
So, I mean, a real man, I don't even like that shit. Somebody starts a sentence off with a real man talking to me, don't fucking talk to me. Like, you're talking to a wall at that point, because there's nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say a real woman should do this, this, and this. What? Like, that's crazy. Come on, guys, think.
Because at the root of it, like we said, all of this is really subjective, however you look at it. And I feel like this quote in itself was an objective view. Like, okay, a real man would not let his woman pay for anything. That's what's going to make you a real man, according to his standards anyways. And, you know, that's just... It's bogus. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, just to like dissect what he was talking about specifically, that's actually bogus, to be honest with you.
It's like, because niggas like that are the reason why shit like this will continue to be an issue, because niggas like this enable people to think this way. It opens up a space to where people think certain shit is okay. To believe that, and this is the reality of shit. To believe that a man should pay for every single thing is very, like, far-fetched. Even when it comes to some of the richest niggas. Like, you still got to do some shit for yourself. Like, as a person, not even as a woman or a man, as a person, you should be able to take care of yourself. You should never have any room or space to let somebody do everything for you. That's where you're fucking up already. We can talk about this shit some more. I don't know if y'all know who what's that nigga's name? He used to ride with CJ So Cool. I can't think of his name.
The one that did all the reaction videos, or somebody? Jinx? Oh, okay. Then I don't know who you talking about.
It's some nigga. I can't think of his Bandman Kevo. I don't know if y'all know who that nigga is. But basically his wife. Mm-hmm. This nigga, he makes hella money, like thousands of dollars, millions of dollars every year. His wife, he wanted his wife to live in another house outside of another house that he was gonna buy. So that the house that he was gonna buy was gonna be used for business and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So he could have people come through the house. Whatever reason it was for, I feel like it was wrong either way. But he told his wife, "I'll give you $10,000 to go buy your own house." Mm-hmm. And like, she went to, like, they were finding houses and shit, and she just ended up not wanting to buy a house. Mm-hmm. And so he kicked her out. Mm-hmm. And basically she went on Instagram and all of that shit, and she's like, "We're homeless. I'm his wife. Me and his kids are out homeless, and he's not doing anything for us." And the way he sees it, he's like, I'm setting you up. I done bought you $1,000 watches. Mm-hmm. If you need money, sell that shit. Even though it's still wrong, there's still some wrongs in this shit, but it's like, to believe that somebody should have to do everything, even figure shit out for you, is the wrong way to go. As an adult, you should not leave any space for somebody to make a decision for you, or to keep you to where you have to do a certain thing. That's just not the right way to do shit. Yeah. As a man or a woman, you need to be true to yourself and do shit for yourself.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, with a man and a woman, you know, this is more so a partnership. I'm not saying that things should be split 50-50, but I feel like an error in societal thinking especially is just that a man needs to treat his woman as though she's his child, like newborn baby. Like, you need anything, like, I got you. Like, anything. And, you know, not to downgrade niggas that do shit like that, but at the same time, that's kind of toxic, to be honest with you. You doing that is not really giving room for that person to think for themselves, or, like, you know, go and get shit for themselves, and up until a point that they become self-reliant on you. And we all know how that ends up. Once they become self-reliant, it becomes a problem for real. But everybody wants to preach that in the first place. Like, yeah, a man, you know, a real man wouldn't let his woman pay for anything, you know. without having that part of her becoming self-reliant on him for the things, because once that happens, it becomes like a major problem. And I just feel like that's just statements like this are just perpetuating that reality, and it could easily be stopped by not saying stupid shit like this.
I think,
So
Q, I think a while ago when we were talking about like relationship stuff, you were like, a relationship should be something where everybody gives their 110%.
Yeah.
Like you said, it shouldn't be anything that's 50-50. We should both be doing 110%. Now, granted, when I've been in relationship stuff, me personally, I'm gonna try, to just like pay for stuff if I have it, But I would also want to know that, if I might not have had it at the time or some stuff like that, my partner could be able to do that for me, or not even do that for me, but just be also just as willing to pay for something just as I am.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you said, just having that one reliance on a person to do everything for you it's just not good. Even outside of the relationship, that's just not a good thing to become comfortable with.
Right.
To just be so cold, just to be so dependent on somebody else to do some stuff for you. You should, like you said, just be a partnership. We take care of everything together. We both try to treat each other. Sometimes I'll pay for some shit. Sometimes you can pay for some shit, and it should just be that. It should just be that constant, like just constant back and forth. Like
And
it
like
really.
with that, like it's okay, and that's the thing. Like I don't want to make it seem as if because there are men that will pay for
do it.
everything,
And it's like, hey, if you got it like that,
like if
cool.
you got it like that, do
Exactly.
you? And if that's what you agree to do, if that's what you want to do what you want to do, and that's what it really comes down to. Like in a relationship, obviously everybody's relationship is not going to be the same. Right. So if the man believes he's supposed to pay for everything and the woman believes that he's supposed to do that, then if they're both in agreement with that decision, then okay. It really just comes down to what do you think niggas should do in a relationship for each other. That's really what it is. I know me. I can speak for myself. I can't speak for other people. I know what I want, and it's a partnership. We're both gaining more and more of each other as we go along. So it's like, I don't need any of the material shit from you. I'm going to get that shit myself. And that's the issue. This materialism it's gone to a different level. And this is why I'm finna pull my black shit right here, right now. Oh. This Eurocentric mindset is gonna fuck everybody up. Okay. All of these black folks, and I'm telling y'all now, this is a Eurocentric world that we live in. Like this capitalism, in an Afrocentric mindset, niggas are making sure everybody is taken care of. Not to the point where everybody is all the way up and shit like that. Right. At least to the point where you know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Right. That is an Afrocentric way of thinking. Yeah. That you don't hear white people, and that I'm not gonna say. Let me not say that. You don't commonly hear white people say that shit often. It's I'm gonna raise my child. Right. It's not. It takes a village to raise a child. Right. I don't hear that often. Mm-hmm. So it's like when it comes to this material shit, niggas get so caught up in what can I get? What can you give me? What can you do for me? It's like, who are you? Like, niggas are forgetting that point. Who are you? Because niggas fall in love with people that are the shittiest people. Like Kanye said, the prettiest people do the ugliest things. Some of the prettiest people you will never know. Like, until you get to know them niggas, you will never understand that these niggas are not really good people. Not all of them, but some people. And it's like, people are getting away from that, I feel. It's coming down to what you look like, what you have, how you dress, what you own, what can you give me, what can you do for me? That's a crazy-ass way of thinking. Right. And niggas are going to realize once all of that material shit runs away, washes away, there's nothing else left there. If that's what you fall in love with, okay. Once you lose all that money like Joe, nigga, you're down bad. What you got to love now?
I think you had a good point about this being more of a Eurocentric mindset thing, but I think that would be a great topic for another day.
Episode.
So,
and again, thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of the NoLidPodcast, man. We greatly appreciate you guys' support. And yeah, man, if you have time, please leave us a review. Let us know how you feel about the episode, what kind of topics you guys were interested in, and how you guys are just feeling generally. We'd love to hear as much as possible. And yeah, man, hope you guys can join us again for the next episode. Take care.